Welcome back. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX. Shubhanshu Sukhla has officially begun his return journey from the International Space Station after completing a historic private space mission aboard Axiom-4. The Dragon spacecraft, carrying 4 crew members, undocked from the ISS earlier today, marking the start of a carefully timed re-entry sequence. The return journey is expected to last around 36 hours, with splashdown scheduled in the Atlantic Ocean during a 1-hour landing window. Over the past 2 weeks, Shukla conducted cutting-edge microgravity experiments, including studies on muscle atrophy, tissue chips and tardigrades, contributions that could help shape the future of both medicine and long-duration spaceflight. Before we begin, here's Group Captain Shubhanshu's last message from aboard the International Space Station. Can we play out that message for our viewers? Okay, I think we're having some technical trouble there with that soundbite. But Dr. Ram Srivastava, former ISRO scientist, is joining us live. PK Ghosh, space strategist, is also with us live on the broadcast. Deepak Kumar, astronomer from Space India, joins us live. Group Captain VN Jha, former Indian Air Force officer, is also joining us live on the broadcast. Let me make a start with you first, if I can. In fact, Dr. Srivastava, on how you believe this space journey really has been like for Group Captain Shukla and the others. It's been, of course, just over a couple of weeks for them in space. A lot of experiments conducted successfully. History created by, of course, Shukla, by being the first Indian to be aboard the ISS. How do you react to this journey and its takeaways for you?
It's really fantastic. It is having great achievement. It is just like one step moving very fast towards our Gaganyaan and future mission of the moon, because whatever experiences Mr. Shukla will have, it will be transformed into the practice in our ISRO future program. Now, important thing is the moment it will re-enter the atmosphere. You might have seen near some tank or pond or river, small students, little students, they used to throw stones over the water, and that those stones, they get jumped one after the other. It's the same thing happening in the upper atmosphere. As soon as this module will re-enter in the upper atmosphere, obviously there is a particular angle. If below that angle it is re-entering, it will flash out and it will be thrown in that space. And so that window is a very critical one. The re-entry point is very important. So the navigation, because first thing is after delocking, what is to be done? The ISS has to move fast and its speed should be gradually decreasing. And then its speed is so controlled, though the computer will decide about the angle, and you have to monitor in such a way that it is not getting totally reflected in the outer space. It should enter in the atmosphere. But the moment it is entering in the atmosphere, because of the friction, the temperature will rise very high. And that is the critical point, because the communication is disturbed. You don't know what is happening there. And that re-entry point, though it is being very successful number of times, and this Dragon is very, very tested and foolproof. There is no chance of any mishap or any fault. And then they will have to monitor. They have to reduce the speed. And at a particular point when the calculation will be communicated to them, at that particular point, it has to flash over the Atlantic Ocean, and then everything will be going around it and will be taking it out. The rest of the process is not so risky. Only the risk or the difficulty or the technical efficiency is required only at the re-entering window. That is very important. And I'm sure being one pilot, he knows very well and he has got lot of training for that. So I am very hopeful it will be very successful, and very soon we will see that Mr. Shukla and other his partners will come out. They are from Poland and Hungary, all right, but the experiments that they have conducted, they are wonderful, wonderful, super. Only thing which I don't have the my opinion, it's very costly. 548 crore rupees we have spent. Even then, for a nation like India, it is not too much. But the thing is, in future, it should not be sent to the Air Force, just like the Rakesh Sharma. He should come and join the ISRO scientists and should say what difficulty in the entire journey they faced, how the cosmic radiation are to be avoided, if there are sun flares and solar storm is coming, because during this time there were 3 major blasts over the sun, and one of them was the prominence. This very strong beam of solar radiation was coming. So how it was affecting the ISS movement, it is tumbling or it is not foolproof. So that experience will be utilized in designing our Gaganyaan. I'm anxious to welcome Mr. Shubhanshu Sukhla, and on behalf of entire ISRO team, India, I'm really would like to give him congratulations. And again, the word he has said, "Sare jahan se acha Hindustan hamara." We will have to prove it in the next few era. Thank you.
Okay, let me in fact quickly get in PK Ghosh now. PK Ghosh, we are seeing how the journey, the return journey has begun today with the undocking of the spacecraft. Just take us through what the procedure is once the spacecraft decides to leave the ISS, and then how it navigates its journey back to Earth, how long that takes, and what happens next.
As I always say, space is a hard taskmaster, and it doesn't accept any mistakes. The smallest mistakes can prove to be quite catastrophic. So one should always be careful. Now, in very brief, I'll just cover the contours of what are the steps which actually go into after the undocking takes place. Now, firstly, during the undocking, the cold gas thrusters take charge, and the capsule comes out from the Harmony module of the International Space Station, and then it moves away from the International Space Station, and then it reorients itself. It reorients itself in such a way that the nose comes first, and because up till now the nose was not first, so the nose comes first and it moves in a direction, then it deorbits slowly while going around the Earth. It deorbits itself slowly. Now, this is a slightly complicated procedure, and as has been said, the angle, etc., should be correct. I will not go into details of that. At about 350 kilometers from at a height, the main trunk of the capsule separates. The capsule separates, and the one in which the astronauts are, that comes teaming down towards the Earth. Now, you must remember that the speeds at which this has been going around, I think it's about 28,000 kilometers per hour or something of that sort. So this has got to be got down to something about 20 kilometers per hour or 30 kilometers per hour, 20 miles per hour, something of that sort, so that it can come to splashdown. So after the main trunk, and I'm using layman's language, has separated, you see this slowly it is maneuvered, and the thrusters are induced to reduce the plane. At 5.5 kilometers, 2 of the drogues, and this I'm covering in very generic terms, 2 of the drogues come out and reduce the speed further. At about 3.5 kilometers from the Earth, the four parachutes come out, and the speed slowly comes down quite a bit as the capsule now makes a splashdown onto the ocean near California. And there, the ships are there, the SpaceX ships are there, which will raise the capsule and bring it back for reuse, by the way. The capsule is reused again for just like the first stage. This is in very broad terms of how I'm not gone into too many details of what is the procedure after undocking.
Yes, Deepak Kumar is also with us live. Deepak, just take us through, of course, how you believe these experiments have gone for these astronauts, the varied amounts of experiments they were. Now, what happens next? Obviously, those studies, the reports, the specifications, the notings will all come back to planet Earth, will all go respectively to NASA or ISRO and other world agencies and be studied in depth, isn't it, Deepak?
Yes, always. Like every small detail and everything we study about, and everything we study and everything we research in the space, they all always matter. Like even from smallest details, we capture that, right? So the research we basically did in the space, the first and most important was the stem cell growth, right? The how our cells grow in our no environment zone, zero gravity, and how our cells growth, right? And this could help to regenerate and the muscle degrade which happen in the space, right? Our body is actually habitual to stay in the space, stay on the Earth, but in the space there is no gravity, right? Even from the to walk, to sit, to stand, we use our muscles, but in space we basically don't do these kind of thing, right? So our muscles slightly degrade, they start to lose their power, you see. So we study about stem cell growth, right? And which help us in tissue growth, right? After that, it was the biomining. Biomining and how the bacteria which behave in the space, right? And biomining technology in space make us understand about how biofilm formations, right? It's a tough thing and how the crew health can be maneuvered with this. Now, after which, what are the DNA damages, right? As Dr. Ram sir said that there are some space some explosion happened, right? So those things can even damage our DNAs. They can change our DNA, they can alter our DNA. So how to make us prepare from these things and how to protect us from that? And what could be the cancer treatment in the future? Now, the most important thing was the space farming, right? The microgreens and growth in the space. So why it matters? It's just for the sustainable food production for the future Mars exploration. Even we are trying to do lunar settlement, so it could help us in that, right? After it was the protein crystallization, how to crystallize protein and which we can use and which we can use in our body and to like keep the growth of the muscles, right? And it was the microgravity effect of the fluid dynamics, right? That how to make our blood flow properly. Now, you know that every astronaut which are in the ISS, they spend minimum 2 hours daily, 2 hours on the treadmill for the exercise so that their body could work properly and the muscles can grow properly and they make their body to feel like they are on the Earth. So we design these things and we plan these things with ISRO and Indian academics labs, and we did those experiments also. Now, after the 7th experiment for us was the radiation dosimetry and personal protection. And it is very crucial for astronauts' health, and they were closely monitoring every astronaut's health, and they are going to be what could be the effect if they are staying in the space for the long durations. So these were the main research which happened.
Okay, let me in fact take that to Group Captain VN Jha as well. Group Captain VN Jha, the journey back has begun. How long will that take? What is the procedure after undocking? And also, Group Captain Jha, once they land back on Earth, then what are the kind of debriefing or certain other SOPs that they will have to follow for the first probably 24, 48 hours back?
Thank you, there. This is my specialty, and I have written a book on this, which deals with all aspects of the human space mission, whether it is going to the space, living in the space, or coming back. Look, today they have decoupled from the International Space Station, and first task for them is to move out from within 200 meters radius of the International Space Station. So that Crew Dragon, it maneuvers itself away from the International Space Station, and then subsequently their all aspects, all aim tasks will be to position themselves for splashdown at the designated space. Right now, even it is there about say 20 hours plus, which is there. You can, the weather can take a beating at the designated place of landing. So there will be an option for the crew to have a plan B, another place of landing, and that will be decided just before the deorbiting. Remember, right now the Crew Dragon of SpaceX is still orbiting. It is not deorbited as at present. International Space Station is at about 415, 420 odd kilometers altitude above from the Earth. Now this capsule will come down to about 300 plus minus 50 kilometers or so, and there it will continue orbiting. Every orbit takes about 90 minutes or so. As you come down, the moment capsule starts coming down, there is a procedure for that. You do slightly decrease the velocity. It comes down. The Earth gravity pulls it, but as it keeps coming down, its velocity again picks up. So without losing the velocity from the orbital parameter, orbital velocity at 200 kilometers will be about 7.8 kilometers per second or so. It is slightly more than what it was there at International Space Station. So there it will continue revolving and position itself, wait for that last moment of plan A or plan B splashdown. And then once they make up their mind, the computer makes the decision whether it is plan A or plan B, and accordingly at that designated time, that window of deorbiting is the one wherein he has to decelerate with the all boosters, all thrusters blasting there, and with the velocity decreased, then it is pulled down towards the Earth. It will enter the atmosphere. There's at 100 kilometers we call it von Karman line. From where the space is believed to be starting without any atmosphere. But these days, with a lot of rocket going on in the space, a lot of atmosphere is kicked out in the lower orbit. So we believe at about say 150 odd kilometers, those atomic or molecular parts of the air, whether it is hydrogen or it is helium, those things will start confronting the capsule, and then the resistance against the air will keep on increasing, and that will continue reducing the velocity from what the already decelerated capsule will have from there. And at that velocity, as our panelists have already told you, that the entry to the atmosphere is very important at that angle. Otherwise, it may just deflect down. So that has to be about it, that there is a particular angle worked out the computer. Entire thing is computerized. The human, the pilot or the astronaut is in the loop of the automated procedure should anything go wrong with the computer. But otherwise, it is all calculated. At that angle, it will be coming down. And at that, when it makes the re-entry, panelists have already told you, there is a very high heat generation to the tune of about 2000 degrees Celsius or even more than that. But then capsule has got the PICA, that is the phenolic impregnated carbon ablator, which keeps on, which can sustain those sort of heat, and capsule keeps coming down, and last stage is of course the drogue comes out that stabilizes it, reduces the velocity also, and then the main parachutes will come down, all those four, which will make a splashdown. In this entire process, there is only about 2.5 minutes of travel of those in the maximum resistance in the atmosphere, when the entire capsule is surrounded in the plasma like heat. That time any communications from the capsule will not be possible. It is about 2.5 minutes when there will be a dark period of the capsule coming down, but with no communication. And the moment it comes down below that, then all communication will be there. After splashdown.
Right. Okay. We've run out of time. My thanks to our guests for joining us on the broadcast. We're quickly going to now play out the parents' sound bites. Group Captain Shubhanshu Sukhla has begun his journey back, of course, from the International Space Station. His parents have spoken about their undocking process and their son's return.
हम लोगों को मतलब जो है ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करते हैं और ईश्वर आशीर्वाद देता है, हम लोगों को आशीर्वाद देता है, बच्चे पर आशीर्वाद है और उसकी अनडॉकिंग बड़ी अच्छी तरह हो गई, समय से हो गई। ये हमारे लिए खुशी की बात है। अब लैंडिंग भी कल समय से पूरी होगी और अच्छी तरह होगी। ये हमें ईश्वर पर विश्वास है कि ईश्वर हमें आशीर्वाद देगा और उसका जो है हमें फल मिलेगा। नहीं, गर्व तो है ही है, गर्व तो हमको हम है, हमारे परिवार को है, हमारे सभी नाते रिश्तेदारों का है, देश को गर्व है कि बच्चा जो है मतलब जो देश का बेटा जो है वो जो है ये मिशन पूरा करके अच्छी तरह आ रहा है और जो हमारे भविष्य के लिए भी बहुत काम आएगा। तो ये बड़ी गर्व की बात है हमारे लिए। तो खैर बेटा है, हमारा गर्व है, देश को भी पूरा गर्व है इस पर। नहीं, अब उन्होंने उनके पास एक्सपीरियंस हो गया है तो अब उसका फायदा जो है गगनयान में मिलेगा और गगनयान यात्रियों में जो है इनका सम्मिलित होंगे और उनको लीड करेंगे, जो सभी को उसका फायदा मिलेगा और अंतरिक्ष स्टेशन बनाने में भी बड़ा योगदान रहेगा। ये बच्चे का मतलब वो भी है कि मतलब जो है जितना योगदान उसको दे सके उतना वो देना चाहता है।
सफलतापूर्वक हो गई है डॉकिंग प्रक्रिया। अब अच्छे से कल स्पेस लैंडिंग भी हो जाए तब सब संतोष मिलेगा। अभी तो थोड़ा सा मन अभी खराब है। यही प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं कि उनकी सफल लैंडिंग हो और अच्छे से सबसे आके मिले जुले, बस यही अभी तो बिल्कुल आगे आने वाली पीढ़ी को काफ़ी जो है इनसे इंस्पायर होंगे, अच्छे से उनको मिलेगी इनसे वो कि मतलब वो भी आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश करेंगे, इनको देख के सीख के। तैयारी तो अभी कुछ नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि जब अभी आने का ही नहीं निश्चित, जब आएंगे तब देखा जाएगा। पसंद है, सब खाता है, जो बताएंगे वो बना के खिलाएंगे।
Some further breaking news now coming in amidst the ongoing SIR being carried out in Bihar. There are 11 days now left for the submission of the filled enumeration forms. Election Commission has shared that 83.66% of the forms have been collected. That is enumeration forms of over 6 crore 60 lakh electors now recorded. The ECI states only 11.82% of electors remain to submit their filled EFs, and many of them have sought time to submit their enumeration forms with documents in the coming days. And on that note, let's slip into a short break.